Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I want to talk about the Nemesis free strategy, which is one of the most popular endgame currency making strategy right now. So first, let's talk about how it works. So first thing what you will need is this sextant. So Nemesis monsters drop 3 additional basic currency items, and it doesn't have to be on the unique warstone, it can be on any other warstone, like even normal one. But if you want to, you can actually buy the warstones like that for around half an exalt. So in last league, people were farming this strategy in Valdos Rest, but since Harbinger has been nerfed and we have different Zana mods on the map device right now, people have moved to Glennach Cairns. And there is a lot of different setups you can try out, but what I did is I bought 3 fraud warstones, which increase the chance that the beyond monsters will spawn. So 1% chance that chance to attract monsters from beyond when you slay enemies. And also, when you are doing the zone, you get Scent of Blood, which gives additional 3%, and also 1 fewer portal, and so on. And also the rare monster from beyond will drop more currency item. So basically, when you are doing this strategy in Glennach Cairns, you want as many rare monsters as possible, mostly thanks to beyond. And these rare monsters will drop currency items as long as they are Nemesis. And this time around there is a Nemesis mod on a map which guarantees that every single rare monster will have Nemesis mod. So every single rare monster will drop 3 additional basic currency items. So this is why you want as much beyond as possible, so you can spawn a lot of rare monsters. And other than that, you can take either Legion mods or Strongbox, it doesn't really matter that much. So these warstones cost around, I believe, 4 exalts, so they are not that cheap. But you can also go for the second option, which is beyond portals in area have up to 6% chance to spawn additional beyond demon, which is also pretty nice. And to be honest, I'm not even sure which one is better. They are both probably pretty decent, and this one costs only 1 exalt, so it's not that expensive. So after you're done with that, after you have your warstones, you want to either again buy warstones like that, or you can roll the awakened sextant. So you need this sextant, and you roll your warstone until you hit Nemesis. So the best way to do that is to actually remove all of your warstones and then put some kind of blocks with the mods that have pretty good chance that you can get them. Like I have prepared here physical, cold and lightning damage, and then you put one of your warstones in and then you roll until you hit something nice. And the ritual is actually pretty nice, so you could potentially keep that. And then you continue rolling it until you hit beyond or something else that is decent. Because obviously you will only want 1 beyond, 1 Nemesis sextant, and the other warstones can be a different one. So after you're done with that, you would remove and put back your other warstones. So with this strategy, what I did is I rolled the warstones myself. So I had a warstone with fraud mod, and I rolled Nemesis on it, and then in between that I also rolled always beyond, and I just tried to have the other 2 as best as possible mods, and probably Hunted Traitors and Unique Monsters drop corrupted items are 2 of the best ones. So this is probably the best setup you can get. So beyond, even more beyond monsters, Hunted Traitors, Nemesis, and unique monsters drop corrupted items. Since you will be slaying a lot of beyond monsters, there will be a lot of beyond bosses, they will drop corrupted items, and that means that you basically will get a lot of sixlings, which you can sell to a vendor for 1 divine. Also, what I did is I bought the misinformation warstone. So again, I was using 3 fraud warstones, and the 4th one was the misinformation. So what it does is it has 12 uses, and it will increase the effect of modifiers on non-unique maps by up to 30%. And also +1 monster level area, but it doesn't matter as much. And obviously this is pretty expensive, but I do believe it is worth it. If it wasn't, it would not be probably as expensive, but you probably don't need it. It's another investment. So the reason why you would want the misinformation is 30% increase effect of modifiers on the map, and the way I was rolling the map is I was obviously chiseling them up to 20% and then just rolling with Scour Alchemy until you hit Beyond. So slaying monsters have 13% chance to attract monsters from Beyond. So this will also be increased by the 30% increase effect of modifiers. So even more Beyond. So basically this strategy is all about Beyond, so you can spawn as many rare monsters as possible. So to add to that, I was also using the Polished Legion Scarab, just for additional monsters from Legion, Gilded Harbinger for 4 Harbingers, Gilded Breach, and Rusted Elder Scarab. It doesn't matter which. Is it either rusted, polished, or gilded? It doesn't really matter. And I do believe this is probably the best setup. The only difference I would consider is maybe removing either Breach or Elder to add Abyss Scarab for 2 additional abysses. Other than that, I would always use this. And on top of that, I was always using the Delirium Orb on top of the map, so you can guarantee Delirium for additional monsters. And the prophecies I was using are the twins, so this will duplicate the rare monsters in the area. Plague of Frogs for additional monsters which can be rare, and Tempest for more quantity on a map. So what I did is I did 12 canyons in Glennach Cairns with this setup, and I did 12 because of the amount of uses on misinformation. So that means I had to roll the sextant with Nemesis 3 times, and the reason why I have 4 uses instead of 3 is because of Enduring Influence. The sextant modifiers have 1 additional use, so 4 instead of 3. And obviously Secrets of the Stone is pretty important, but everything else is not that important for this strategy. So let's look now at the example video of one of the maps that I did. I am not gonna be showing the map right now. I'm not gonna run map because it simply takes too long of a time. It is really time consuming, and also this is why I only did 12 of them, because if I would even the 12 maps took me, I believe, 4.5 hours, so it took quite a long time. So let's look at the example video. So here's the map, as you can see, Beyond with 20% Delirium. I am using these for Scarabs and Nemesis on map device. Also Alva. Alva is really important for the strategy. Alva adds a lot of rare monsters to your map. So also what I did is I had few loot filters. First one is a filter that only shows Exalted Orbs and most of the tier 1 like Uniques and so on, and Divine Orbs. And this is because there is so much loot on the map, it's just covers whole your screen and drops your FPS, so I don't want that to happen. So I'm basically using this loot filter just to pick up exalted orbs, and after I'm done with the map and I start looting it, then I am swapping to my second loot filter. So I'm just gonna be skipping throughout the video because, as you can see, it took me 21 minutes to do just one map with clearing it and looting. And also, as you can see, there is a lot of FPS drops when I am doing this strategy. So this is a Harbinger, and also, as you could see, there was 40 rare monsters, and you can see the counter on the headhunters. I already killed 60 of them, 70 and so on. So there's a lot of rare monsters, especially from the Beyond. So now let's skip a bit. Here is the map after I'm done with it. So here is the looting part. So I'm swapping my loot filter, and as you can see, there is a lot of loots. Every single rare monster drop 3 currency items. So what I am doing is I am turning my loot filter off. So I am only picking up the beams. So every single currency item, even alteration orb, chance orb and so on, is yellow on my loop filter and is showing on the map as this beam, so I can pick all of them up. The only currency I wasn't picking up were jewelry orb, transmutation orb and augmentation, and that's because they are very cheap, so I decided to pick up everything else. Even like chance orbs and chromatic orbs, even though they are 10 to 1C, I do believe it is worth to pick them up because you simply drop so many of them. I do believe it is worth to pick them up. Okay, so that's pretty much it when it comes to this strategy. Now let's look at the results of the test that I did. So I did 12 canyon maps. I also seen some people doing Jungle Valley, and to be honest, I'm not really 100% sure which one is better. There's probably a lot of different setups you can do. So let's look at the results. So here is a tab with all of the currency that I dropped. So as you can see, there's a lot of chaos orbs, fusing orbs, alteration and so on. All of the expensive ones. So again, as you can see, there is a ton of chromatic and chance orbs, so together all of that currency is worth quite a lot of chaos. And here is the second tab with a little bit more of the currency and just some random items that I dropped in between. And as you can see here in the bottom, I did drop 30 divine orbs, almost 40, and 6 exalted orbs. So every second map I did get 1 exalted orb and quite a lot of divine orbs. And I do believe actually only twice I had unique monster drop corrupted item, maybe even once, I don't really remember, but I for sure didn't have it 3 times. So that's quite a lot of divine orbs for only 4 to 8 maps. And to be honest, 6 exalted orbs is apparently not that many. I've seen people reporting they are getting like 70% of the time, maybe up to 90% of the time, 1 exalted orb per map. So in my test I only did get 50% of the time, which is not that great, but that's obviously RNG. If I would do more of them, maybe I would get more. We will never know. So let's look at the spreadsheet right now. So here is all of the investment. So I did 12 maps. Canyon costs 10C per map, Gilded Harbinger Scarab 20C, Rusted Elder 4C, Porous Legion 16, Gilded Breach 14, and I did buy Misinformation for I believe 4.5 exalts. It did take me 320 Awakened Sextants in total to roll the Nemesis Sextant 3 times, and the Beyond and Unique monsters drop corrupted items and so on in between. You will most of the time get all of the other sextants that you want before you get the Nemesis. And here also are the Delirium Orbs, so again 12 maps, 35C per Delirium Orbs. And here are the rolls that I had to, basically the Chaos Orb rolling the map to get Beyond on every single map. On average, I believe it takes between 10 to 15C to get Beyond. And here I counted 1C per map, but obviously you can use Alchemy Orb and Orb of Scouring, which would be around 0.7C per roll instead of 1C. So in total I did spend around 3000 chaos, which is 18 exalts, and it took me 4.5 hours to do this test. So total profit was 6000 chaos, so basically half of that was the investment. So in total I did make 18 exalts, which is 4 exalts per hour. And to be honest, 4 exalts per hour for an endgame strategy is not that much, and I was quite surprised that I didn't make that much. I did expect at least 5. But to be honest, I could have just been really unlucky. Again, I only got 6 exalts, and apparently you're supposed to get much more than that. And also maybe there was just something wrong with my setup. Again, there is a lot of different setups, and if you are doing the same strategy, please leave a comment in a video what kind of setup you are running. Maybe you are doing Jangun Valley, maybe you are not using misinformation, maybe you are doing different sextants, maybe going for strong boxes and so on. I just don't really want to do every single test for every single possibility. It would just take too much time. So I am just curious what kind of different setups people are doing and what kind of results they have. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna do just one more test, and I'm gonna do it in Valdos Rest. So just so I can compare these two different zones, and I want to see how bad or maybe good is the Harbinger in this zone with Nemesis 3 Sextant after the nerf from the last league. Is it still worth doing it here, or is it completely dead and you should move on to different zones like Glennach Cairns? So thanks for watching and see you next time.